I had a bit of a, well, story break over the last 48 hours or so over some comments that Jim Ratcliffe made about the state of Britain, the island. And I think Duncan Bannatyne has come out in his defence as well and said, well, actually, he's got a point. Predictably, Keir Starmer has turned around and more or less demanded that Jim Ratcliffe apologise for what he said. I hope he doesn't, because I happen to agree with it. If you look at everything statistically, at least, and also the way big parts of our country are changing, Jim Ratcliffe definitely has a point, and it's been allowed to happen. Why has it been allowed to happen? I think we all know the answer to that. Now, I want to play this video here, which is attached to this tweet. And this is Talk Again. And we've got ex-Labour MP Simon Danczuk. So ex-Labour MP reacts to Sir Jim Ratcliffe's comment that the UK has been colonised by immigrants. Multiculturalism clearly hasn't worked. We've been forced to believe we can all live happily together. It's completely unsustainable. So that's the basis of that tweet. Now, let's have a listen to the video and see what he actually says.
To be quite honest, Kevin, I think he's exactly right. He pointed out that the population of Britain has gone from, I think, 58 million in 2020 to 70 million today. And it's completely unsustainable. This is the point that he's making. And I wish, mainstream politicians would listen to what he has got to say. And he's right about immigrants. We've been colonised by immigrants. And the many consequences of that. This idea of multiculturalism clearly hasn't worked. We've been forced to believe that we can all live happily together, but they've brought different cultures that have been very unhealthy in many towns and cities across the United Kingdom. Many more going on to benefits. The number on benefits now is just astronomical. I mean, it's just outrageous. Totally unsustainable. You can't, and we've got a Labour government that's trying to tax us to keep it that way. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm pleased he's come out and said this.
There you go. That's Jim Ratcliffe, and you've heard the opinion of Simon Danczuk there. Very telling, isn't it, from an ex-Labour MP? It's amazing that when politicians come out of the house, they start being honest about what's really going on. Let's have a look at some of the feedback as well, which is quite interesting. Let's go to the latest. So look, Inevitable West, all of Britain stands with Jim Ratcliffe. Keir Starmer can go himself. That's something immediately. Self-made British businessman Duncan Bannatyne, who starred on Dragon's Den, has come out in support of Jim Ratcliffe. Mao, grow your stack. Yeah, that's just an advert, isn't it? Rupert Lowe, Jim Ratcliffe is right. Tommy Robinson, pretty much backing it up. Sensitive Young Saxon, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is a patriot who speaks for the British people. The Prime Minister has proven himself a traitor. It's not even arguable. Manchester United, part owner. Let's have a read of this. Has been colonised by immigrants who are draining resources from the state, as he warns of the country facing profound political, social and economic challenges. Here's another one from Rupert Lowe, which is quite something. Go to Luton, go to Rochdale, go to Bradford and go to Tower Hamlets. Jim Ratcliffe is right. It's been colonised. That's just a fact. No point pussyfooting around it. Streets and streets of entire families unable to speak in English, not working, not contributing, living under parallel legal systems, which, again, under the Bill of Rights, no. It's not even multiculturalism in some of these areas. There is one culture. They do not want to live by the same rules as the rest of us. They choose not to be policed as the rest of us, so they're not. What has that led to? We all know. Britain increasingly resembles the third world, and with demographic changes, birth rates and immigration transforming our country as they are, that is a process which will only accelerate unless drastic action is taken. I speak to MPs, plenty agree with me in private. They are, however, unwilling to say it publicly. They need to change urgently. The backlash for stating these obvious facts is aggressive, so MPs don't do it. The intimidation works, it's effective, but I don't need the job. I don't need the money. I'm just going to carry on telling the truth. Let's continue to kick the shit out the Overton window. That is step one. Ratcliffe is right, and I respect him for having the balls to actually say it. So as usual, you know, Rupert Lowe is bang on the money there. Here's another one. The UK is being colonised. Entire parts of our city are unrecognisable, including where my family is from in East London. A lot of Londoners have got out, you know. Andy the cabby. I agree with Jim Ratcliffe. And it's all the same. You can see it's all the same there. Now, I'm all for the rule of law, and you know, wonder how they can get away with this. Now, the point is, they shouldn't be allowed to get away with it, and they can't get away with it because what they're doing is actually completely and utterly against the Constitution. Now, I want to show you this. This is an interesting tweet that I reacted to, and it's from the Rainers Project. James Stoker argues that mass immigration in Britain is incompatible with the Coronation Oath of 1688. It establishes the English people and descendants, remember what I always say about inalienable rights, as the constitutional sovereign constraining changes in population composition. Read it here. So there is an article that goes with this, and I think it's very important that we cover just a little bit of it. So James Stoker argues that mass immigration in Britain is unconstitutional per the Coronation Oath of 1688, which establishes that English people and descendants as the constitutional sovereign. The relationship between monarch, parliament and people constrains changes in population composition. So mass immigration is commonly regarded in public discussion as either legal or illegal. This is a red herring. Mass immigration is better understood as merely wanted or unwanted, that is, by those in power. This is because all mass immigration that entrenches foreigners within British life is unlawful, regardless of whether it's legislated for. That may sound contradictory, but all parliamentary legislation rests upon a foundation of constitutional law and must be compatible with it. Understanding mass immigration does not, in the first instance, concern the relationship between British and foreign people, but rather that between British people and their own institutions. And this is where it's slightly skewy, because British should say English when you're talking about the Glorious Revolution, which established that political authority flows upward from people to representatives, not downward from divine right. People vote for candidates who reflect their views, and the elected parliament implements those views via legislation. Parliament can tax, subsidise people, even punish, but it cannot replace people, i.e. with people from outside Britain. Such an act offends the common sense understanding of the relationship between politicians and people. A population can choose its politicians, but politicians cannot choose their own population. And it mentions here as well, since 1948, and also mentions the British Nationality Act of 1981 as well as a couple of other things. So what you have to imagine, you imagine a pyramid, we the people, and the power flows upwards towards those that represent us. But what we have at the moment is, if you invert that, you have those that represent us at the top, and all the power is flowing backwards the other way from where it should be. It's completely and utterly wrong. And that's this whole argument over whether Parliament is sovereign or not. It isn't. The people are sovereign. And there's a multitude of information out there to prove that very fact. And because of that, Parliament cannot, legally at least, change the population of this country. And look what's happening. Quite terrifying. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share my stuff. I'll talk to you soon. Toodaloo.